Hello, dear friends. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the outcome of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory you win, you will also suffer defeat. If you know neither the enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Opinion piece. Financial warfare. The Silk Road. Chinese imperial gold. Flow of precious metals. Demand for Asian goods. Failure of financial deals. Strong solar storm today. Let's start. A secret financial war is being waged for planet Earth that has lasted for millennia, according to Benjamin Fulford. Since ancient times, the Silk Road connected Asia with Europe, facilitating the trade of valuable goods such as silk, spices, and ceramics, and they received gold and silver as payment in exchange. During the ancient world, the Roman Empire imported a large amount of goods from Asia, mainly from China and India, in exchange for precious metals. As a result of this, 85% of the world's gold reserve is located in Asia. The Silk Road encompassed an extensive network of land and sea trade routes, opened by China since at least the 1st century BC. But the existence of China linked to silk production was known to the ancient Greeks since the 4th century BC. This route interconnected most of the Asian continent with terminals in the islands of Southeast Asia, the European Mediterranean, and the Eastern African coast. The demand for Asian goods in Europe led to a constant flow of precious metals to Asia. This led to significant accumulations of gold and silver in Asian economies, particularly in China and India. Asia has experienced impressive economic growth and has accumulated significant wealth, but the current dynamics reflect more a rebalancing of economic power towards greater multipolarity in the world economy. In 1913, a group of bankers took control of the creation and distribution of money and created the Federal Reserve Board. After a year later, World War I led to the destruction of the German, Austro-Hungarian, and Ottoman empires. At the end of the war, Germany was forced to pay 132 billion gold marks as compensation, and the only ones who could provide that much gold were Asian royalty. The agreement reached by the Germans with the Asian royalty resulted in the creation of the Bank for International Settlements in 1930. A secret agreement was reached with which, in exchange for Asian gold, promised the creation of a world parliament with Asian royalty acting as guardians. But this promise was not kept. The Asians were told that for this to be established, World War II would be needed. Of particular importance was the gold evacuated from China by American warships in 1938 to prevent it falling into Japanese hands. In exchange for this gold, the US gave Taiwan 60-year bonds and promised to return the gold at the end of the 60 years. At the Bretton Woods meeting in 1944, the Asians contributed gold to back the dollar, and the victors of World War II were given a 50-year mandate to develop the world, but they only modernized countries they controlled, and Asian royalty stopped giving gold to the West. The defeated Japanese settled in North Korea, and the defeated Germans settled in South America. The nationalist Chinese, who lost the Civil War in 1949, set up business in the Golden Triangle of Southeast Asia. After the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1962, JFK decided to take control of the dollar from the Fed and made a deal with Indonesian President Sukarno to get gold, but Sukarno was deposed in 1967. The Asians then responded by selling all the dollars they had and converting them into gold. As a result, the dollar was taken off the gold standard, and Nixon signed a 50-year deal with Saudi Arabia to create the petrodollar, which expired in June 2024. He also made a secret deal with Communist China in 1978. They gave the Chinese imperial gold to the CCP and promised to help modernize China. In 1998, the US didn't return the gold it had borrowed from Taiwan 60 years earlier, as promised. The Taiwanese claimed it and won the case, and were ordered to return the gold by September 12, 2001. But 9/11 blew up, and the building where all the documents related to the gold were stored. This started the invasion of the Middle East. Interesting. The economy is improving and falling apart at the same time. According to the Atlantis report, the banking system is on the brink of chaos. The old guard is being exposed and forced to self-destruct. The BRICS on the verge of domination, the World Bank, and the IMF, according to Russia. Wild theory. Is Jim Carrey playing Joe Biden? According to Kavamur, the mask theory requires you to believe that the good guys are doing evil and fooling the world, which would be an inversion of the coalition's values. An anomaly next to the pyramids of Giza in Egypt could be an entrance to an unknown chamber. A 13-year-old boy has made Archimedes' medical death ray, and scientists confirm it could work. Floods around the world are breaking records by filling in former lake beds that inundate towns and cities. Cannibal solar storm. A series of M-class flares over the weekend launched 4 of 5 solar mass ejections towards Earth. The first 2 are merging to form a single cannibal solar storm. Strong G3 class geomagnetic storms are possible when it reaches Earth today, Tuesday, July 30th. Beset by exhaustion, some Generation Z children of immigrants are giving up on the American dream. The cost of healthcare and rent, coupled with a chaotic political system, are causing these children of immigrants to abandon the American dream to live elsewhere. Mike Adams says there is a lot going on in the world that may seem scary. The powers of darkness claim dominion over the earth, but they are arrogant and will be defeated as we unite and stand firm with truth, strength, and courage against the principality of darkness. This is an epic biblical battle for the future of the human species on Earth. Everything is at stake. Middle East. Saudi Arabia allows women to show their faces. That's something. Middle East tensions escalate over Golan Heights attacks. Erdogan says Turkey could enter Israel to help Gazans. Egypt warns of the danger of a new military front opening in Lebanon after the attack. Israel doesn't plan to wage a full-scale war with Lebanon according to reports. Trump tells Netanyahu he will try to bring peace to Middle East if elected. Africa tends to gold as distrust of dollar grows. Europe. Olympic event on the Seine River cancelled due to poor water quality, days after Meyer swan to prove its cleanliness. 2024 Olympics opening ceremony shows a lack of public morality, says Orban. French bishops blast Olympics as mockery of Christianity. Archbishop Vigano denounces Olympics as vile attack on God. Spanish Church joins in criticism of a mockery of Christians at Olympic ceremony. Telecommunication services sabotaged in several departments of France. Several fiber optic internet cables cut in France, causing widespread disruptions. Eurostat cancelled a quarter of its train services ahead of the Olympics following arson attacks on a French railway line. Europeans at a loss for what to do with Russian Soyuz rockets at the Kourou Cosmodrome in French Guiana. German economy in crisis without Russian energy. Switzerland rolls out using proceeds from Russian assets to help Kiev. Spain. Mad rain and more heat in the next few hours in Spain. The Court of Justice of the European Union declares wolf hunting illegal in Spain. The European Committee of Social Rights condemns Spain for limiting compensation for unfair dismissal. The Majority Association of Judges warns the European Commission of the attacks on the magistrate in the Begoña Gómez case. Americas. Maduro declares his supposed electoral victory. Protesters in Venezuela reject the election result. Thousands of Venezuelans take to the streets of Caracas to protest. China, Russia, and Iran congratulate Maduro, and the West expects transparency in the recount. The US questions whether the result announced in Venezuela reflects the will of the people. Panama suspends its relations with Venezuela until the election result is reviewed. Spain requests the minutes table by table to certify the election result in Venezuela. Thousands of people gather in Madrid with slogans for freedom in Venezuela. Venezuela dismantled the plan to sabotage the electrical system before the elections. The Venezuelan oil sector faces stagnation under Maduro's third term. Riots in front of the Venezuelan embassy in Argentina after the results were known. Is the Argentine economy recovering after 6 months of decline? Half of Argentines buy food with credit. Consumption falls and the use of credit cards increases in Argentina. The UN highlights positive dynamics in the Americas in the fight against hunger. Mexico and Brazil win the first medals in Latin America at Paris 2024. The IMF points out that the Brazilian economy has a great capacity for recovery. The G20 closer to adopting the Brazilian proposal to tax large fortunes. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.